Alright, so we're going to talk about the lost signs again, but we're going to talk about a thing called the ambiguous case. Doesn't that sound scary? Ambiguous case. Okay, for the lost signs. Now, what that means is when you have a problem, there are certain situations, depending on how the triangle is written, what they give you, how many angles they give you, how many sides, and all that kind of stuff. There's some problems that come out to either, just put it right here, either 0 solutions, 1 solution, okay, or 2 solutions. Isn't that weird? Did you get any that came out to like undefined or an error on your calculator or anything like that? Yeah, I didn't think you did. And I tried to give you problems yesterday that did not come out weird. All right. Oh, it was just area I gave you yesterday. Are you kidding me? I thought I gave you some science stuff. Are you serious? Well, my goodness. I thought I was giving you some law of sines to do. Well, you finished up that law cosine lesson, right? And you didn't get anything weird on that? Everything come out all right? Okay. Well, anyway, I guess I'll have to give you some more law of science stuff. Well, anyway, there's going to be some situations where you get either 0 solutions, which means you're going to get an error on your calculator. You get 1 solution, which is kind of a normal thing, I guess, if you want to call it that. And then there are times where you can actually get 2 solutions for the same information on a triangle. It's kind of weird, but that's what they call the ambiguous case. All right? Al, you with us today? Okay. Did you get any sleep last night? All right. Head up, please. All right. Let's take a look. Let's go through a normal one, quote normal, and we're going to do one where you're going to get 1 solution. All right. So let me set this up. I'll even draw a triangle. These triangles aren't necessarily going to be drawn to scale. All right. Just make sure that you understand that. All right. So let's draw a triangle here and let's see what it looks like. Okay, here's my triangle. Let's put some stuff in here that we know. We know that this angle is 105 degrees. This side right here is 6. And this one right here is 9. And let's put some letters in here. We'll call this angle S, R, and T. Alright, so we're going to use the law of sines to figure out, we're going to solve the triangles, what they tell you to do. So when they say solve the triangle, it basically means to find all the missing parts. So what could I call this side right here, this 6? If this is angle S up here, what would this be? Side S. And this would be what? Side R. What would this unknown side right here be? It would be T. Good. So what are we trying to really find? We're trying to find angle T, angle S, and what else? Side T. Good. All right, so that's the deal. So we're going to use the law of sines. What I always do in order to use the law of sines, I always have to have one angle and a side that's opposite that angle that's known, all right, that I actually know, or I can't use the law of sines. It just won't happen. So I need to have one angle and one side opposite that angle that I know. Well, this is the obvious place right here. All right. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. By the way, the ambiguous case is only used when you have 2 sides and an angle. If I have 2 sides and an angle, I have that possibility of getting either no answers, 1 answer, or 2 answers. If you had 2 angles and a side, all right, it doesn't matter what order. It could be angle, side, angle. It could be angle, angle, side. It doesn't matter. If you have 2 angles and a side, you're always going to get 1 answer. So when you see a problem when they give you 2 angles, and 1 side, you're always just going to get 1 answer, so you're good to go.
Wait, this isn't an ambiguous case, even if we only get 1 answer?
Well, I'm saying this. The chance that you're going to encounter the ambiguous case is when you have 2 sides and an angle. All right? So when you get 1 answer, it's not really considered the ambiguous case because you're only getting that 1 answer. But you always have that possibility when you're given 2 sides, like you are right here, 9 and 6, and just 1 angle, 105. There's that possibility, all right, that you're going to get either 0 answers, 1 answer, or 2 answers. All right. So it's not necessarily the ambiguous case, but there's always that chance. You okay with that? Okay. So I'll tell you what, let me pause a second. I'm going to show you something that it's right in the book, but I want to show you something. Okay, you're going to find this in the book. I'm not sure what page. Anybody have the page? 8 what? 34. 834. You'll see this exact thing in the book, okay? It's a little complicated, but this is what we have. It says these are possible triangles when you have side-side angle. When they give you 2 sides and an angle, which is what we have right now. Now what we have, angle A in this situation, let's go back to it real quick. This, now we don't have A, B, and C obviously, but when the angle that they give you, right, is what type of an angle here? It's 105 degrees. So what kind of angle is that? It's obtuse. All right, so let's go back to this thing, and look, angle A is right or obtuse. So it's obtuse, so we're looking right here. Now look what it says. Now, how do we know right off the bat whether we have one solution or if we have two solutions? Well, it says if side A, now side A means it's the side opposite the angle that they give you. Does that make sense? Okay, so if I'm talking about that, if that's less than B, then we're going to have no solution. Let's go back to that problem. This thing right here, is this is the side that's opposite, right? Is this less than this right here? Is 9 less than 6? No, it's not. So in this particular situation, we're not going to have 0 solutions. What are we going to have? We're going to have 1 solution. Okay, because watch, if A is greater than B, see if the side opposite the angle they give you, right? This was 9 in our triangle, wasn't it? Okay, and this was, you either do this one or this one, doesn't matter. It's just the other side. Just consider the other side. It doesn't matter. So, but this is the side that's opposite this angle. So if this is larger than the other side that they give you, follow me? It doesn't matter if it's this one or this one right here. If this is larger than the other side that they give you, then how many solutions are you going to get? You're going to get 1 solution. All right? Does that make any sense so far? Okay, so now we can look at this and we're like, okay, we're going to get 1 solution. So we can just do the regular old law of sines and we're good to go. So let's do this real quick. What do you want to solve for? Just give me one. Angle T. All right, so let's solve for angle T. Remember we did like sine of A over A, or we could have done A over sine of A. Do you remember that? Well, I'm solving for an angle right here, so which one am I going to choose? I'm going to choose the sine of T. Put that on top. You don't have to do it this way. I just think it's a little bit easier. All right. So watch. Oh, I don't want to use that, do I? That wouldn't be a good idea. Well, you told me. You whispered to yourself. Oh, you're telling Johnny? Okay. All right, I thought you were yelling at me. Well, that's good. I didn't even notice it until I started writing it down. But we saw it right away, right? I heard the rumble in the crowd. So you say, well, wait a minute. You can't use this because you don't even know side T. So you can't do angle T. So what are we going to have to go to now? We're going to have to go to angle S. All right. Now, all these arcs right here don't mean they're equal to each other. I don't want to confuse you. But we're trying to solve for angle S. Now we can solve for angle S. So let's rewrite it. So it's going to be the sine of angle S over side S, which is 6, equals, let's do the same thing over here. We'll put the sine of what? 105 over its side, opposite side, which is 9. You with me on that? Okay. Watch. Multiply both sides by 6. That's why it's nice to the thing that you're solving for to put that on top every time, because all you got to do is just multiply by the denominator. You're good to go. Now, if you didn't do that, you'd have to do cross multiplication, have to divide by something. That's really not that big of a deal, but I just think it's a lot easier this way. All right, so here we go. Now, I want to solve for S, so what am I going to do? The sine of S equals all this. What am I going to have to do to solve for S? I'm going to have to take the inverse sine, okay, of all this stuff right here. I'm just going to rewrite that. Now, you don't really have to write that down. I just did it because I'm teaching you, and you need something to look back on, all right, to see what we're doing. So you just plug that into a calculator. So S equals, let me get my paper, and I'll just do it. It's I think the book rounds it to the nearest degree. For some reason, I took it to the nearest tenth. I'm just going to keep it the way I wrote it. Is that all right? It's no big deal. All right, so that's angle S right there. Now, this is what I decided to do. This angle, do this in a different color. I'm just going to fill it in. So the ones we're trying to figure out on our own, I'm going to fill in with a different color, all right, just so we can see what we were originally given. We were originally given the stuff in black, and the stuff that we found on our own, I'm going to put in red. Is that okay? Now watch. If we found this angle, now look what I have. I got 2 angles. I can easily find angle T now, can I? All right, and how do we do that without the law of sines? That's right, take them both way from 180. So let's just do that right here. So angle T equals 180. Now again, I'm writing it out. You don't necessarily have to. You could probably just stick it in a calculator, but again, I'm trying to teach, not just do, right? All right, so angle T, when you do that math, is 34.9 degrees. All right, and let's just write it, angle T, just so it's all together. All right, there we go. So we've got angle S is 40.1. we've got angle T, which is 34.9 degrees, and now we just have to solve for what? Side T. Good. So now let's do this. Now we know angle T, right? We were going to try that earlier, but now we know it, so now we can go back to this thing that we were going to do. So we're solving for the angle, so I'm going to put that on top. So the sine of T over, I'm sorry, I know what T is now, don't I? I don't have to put T. I can actually put the angle, 34.9 degrees, over the side, which is, you know what? I just got done saying that. Paco, I could see it in your eyes, and you just don't want to say anything, did you? Let's do this. Oh, it is. All right, let's go to the next video.